everybody, and welcome to summer. It's June here in Arizona, and it's well over 100 degrees every day. If you live somewhere cool, can I crash on your couch? Okay, jokes aside, my name is Keena, and I cover personal finance and investing. Today, we're gonna go step by step through the process of buying cryptocurrency. Now, this applies regardless of if you wanna buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, or any other cryptocurrency or token. This video is primarily for first-timers who are ready to dip their toes in the water, and it's also useful for anybody who could use a refresher. Before we continue, a reminder that none of this is financial advice, and you should consult a licensed financial professional before making any investment decisions. In this video, we'll start with an overview of exchange trading platforms and the 5 critical areas that you need to consider when looking at different options for where to buy and sell your crypto. Then I'll compare 2 of the most popular and well-regulated exchanges out there, Coinbase and Gemini. And I'll go through the entire sign-up process for both of these platforms so you know how to get started right away. This includes going over how to transfer money into the exchange and how to use it to buy cryptocurrency. Then in the last section of the video, we'll go over techniques and best practices for avoiding scams and keeping your crypto secure. There are timestamps below in the video description if you want to jump around, but I highly recommend that you watch the video all the way through. That way you don't miss any critical bits of information. So who's with me? Ready to jump on the crypto bandwagon? Let's start by choosing an exchange. The number of options for where you can buy and sell crypto is growing by the day, but I suggest that beginners start with either Coinbase or Gemini. And in the next section, I'll give a step-by-step walkthrough for how to get started with either of these exchanges. But first, let's discuss the 5 critical areas that you need to consider when assessing and comparing any exchange trading platform. That way, you'll be prepared if you want to choose a different one. The first area to consider is whether the exchange is large, highly regulated, and offers good customer service. The importance of choosing a legitimate exchange cannot be underemphasized because the crypto space is still trying to shake a bad rap that is developed not just for scams, but also for security breaches within poorly run exchanges. Folks that have been around for a while might remember the Mt. Gox exchange, which lost over 850,000 of its users' Bitcoin overnight, an amount that would be worth about $35 billion today. Imagine waking up and the bank has lost all your money. Later in the video, I'll show you how to lock down your cryptocurrency using cold storage, which protects you from loss in the case that an exchange is hacked or experiences another issue. Looking at Coinbase and Gemini, both platforms meet the criteria for being large and well-regulated, and they each have about 13 million active users and are FDIC insured up to $250,000 if you live in the United States. This leads us to our second consideration, which is, does the platform have an intuitive user interface, or does it look like a Lockheed Martin 5th generation F-35 fighter jet? This applies to both the ease of use of the web platform as well as the smartphone app. When you're considering signing up for an exchange, I recommend doing some Googling to see what the interfaces look like. And if you plan on becoming an advanced trader down the road, there may be specific metrics that you want to see within the platform, ones that will help you conduct technical analysis, and certain tools like the ability to complete limit and stop loss orders. But don't worry too much about this. You definitely don't have to have everything figured out in order to get started. The nice thing about Coinbase and Gemini is that they both offer an easy-to-use platform for beginners, as well as separate, advanced platforms for experts. So it's easy to make the transition down the road from Coinbase to Coinbase Pro, or from Gemini to Gemini Active Trader if you become more experienced and want the advanced features. That's just another reason why I recommend these exchanges. Third, it's important to consider fee structures. Depending on the service, this can be really tricky to understand. For example, Coinbase has a spread fee of 0.5% that gets applied to all transactions, and either a variable or flat fee gets added on top depending on transaction size. It's not always easy to tell how much you'll be paying, and I think the exchanges intentionally make this confusing so that you just give up trying to understand and pay them their cut. Exchanges also like to charge a lot of different fees, effectively nickeling and diming you. So for example, fees are often charged when transferring funds onto the platform. Usually, ACH transfers from bank accounts are free, but most exchanges have outrageous fees if you move money in using a credit or debit card. So I don't recommend either of those options. Fees are applied at each purchase of crypto. Probably that doesn't come as much of a surprise. And typically as the transaction size increases, The fee is a percentage of the overall transaction decreases, which effectively incentivizes you to buy more. And some exchanges even hit you with a fee if you want to send cryptocurrency to somebody else or transfer it off the exchange into another wallet you control. Since nobody likes wasting money when buying, selling, or transferring crypto, I suggest spending some time up front to better understand how you'll be charged. If low fees are really important to you, I would suggest choosing Gemini instead of Coinbase, as in general, the fees will be lower. Additionally, Coinbase Pro and Gemini Active Trader, the advanced services offered by these companies, have much better fee structures than their beginner services. So I recommend making your first few trades on the regular platform and then switching over to the advanced platforms to save money. The fourth area to consider is exchange availability in your country. At the time of this video, Coinbase is available in over 100 countries, and Gemini is only available in about 50. But this can be deceptive because some countries block the transfer of their local currencies onto the exchange, or they require you to jump through a whole lot of hoops to move money in. If you live in the United States, this generally is not going to be an issue, but folks in other countries will need to do some more research here. The fifth and final area to look into is crypto support. If you want to buy the popular coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc., they'll typically be available anywhere. But if you're interested in buying smaller, niche, or up-and-coming coins, they might not be supported on all platforms. So this is an area to check into as well. With all of this out of the way, we're going to jump into the sign-up process, first for Coinbase and then for Gemini. Starting with Coinbase. If you've already created an account, or if you want to use Gemini instead, skip ahead to the timestamp on the screen here, or use the links in the video description to navigate around. So the first thing we're going to do is load a web browser of our choice and navigate to coinbase.com. You can sign up using the Coinbase app on iOS or Android by downloading the app and clicking Get Started in the corner. And while the process is near identical, I do recommend using a computer for the sign up, as you'll want to create a strong, unique password. And this can be easier to do on a computer, especially if you're using a password manager. We're going to choose the sign up button in the upper right corner of the screen. Then enter our first and last name, email, password, specify our geographic location, and click Create Account. The next step is to verify our email address. So navigate to your inbox and click the link to confirm your email. Once you do this, it'll ask us to enter a phone number. And this is so that Coinbase can send us two-factor authentication text or SMS messages when logging in or making a large purchase to ensure that our account stays secure. After you enter this information, Coinbase will text you a verification code that you need to enter before moving to the next step. Next, Coinbase will ask for more information about you. And this is because the government requires all brokerages to follow AML and KYC, anti-money laundering, and know your customer laws. It will ask for your full name, date of birth, address, the last 4 digits of your social security number if you live in the United States, employment status, what you'll be using the account for, that kind of stuff. So plug in this information and we'll move on. Next, Coinbase will ask for a scan of your ID. And this will vary by country, but in the United States, it needs to be a driver's license or state-issued identification card. You can take a picture or upload an image. Either way, in general, the more information that you provide to Coinbase or another exchange, the higher your purchasing and transfer limits will be. Once you've finished uploading your ID, you're all set. You can head over to Account Settings and click Account Limits to see where you are and where you stand with your verification. It might take a bit of time for your ID to be confirmed, but once it is, your limits will increase. Next, you'll want to add a payment method. You'll probably be prompted with a big box when you log in for the first time, but if not, hit Settings and choose Payment Methods at the top. I highly suggest using a bank account again to avoid fees. This information runs through Plaid, which is a secure third party and a safe option. Once your bank account is connected, you're ready to buy your first crypto. If you followed the steps above, this part's a breeze. Click on the Buy or Sell button in the upper left, choose the crypto you're interested in and how much you'd like to buy, make sure the funding source is correct, and click the Buy Now button. It's that easy. Now I'm going to walk through the sign-up process for Gemini. This is very similar to Coinbase's setup, so if you watch that section, a lot will be the same. If you created a Coinbase account in the prior section, or if you already have a Gemini or Coinbase account, you can skip ahead to one of the timestamps on the screen or use the links in the description. The first thing we're going to do is load a web browser and navigate to Gemini.com. Then we're going to click the Get Started link and enter our name, email address, create a password. We'll agree to the terms of service, and then it'll ask us to verify our phone number. And this is so that Gemini can send you two-factor authentication text messages when logging in or when making a large purchase to ensure that your account stays secure. Wait for the text message to show up and then enter the code here. Next, Gemini will ask for our physical address, which I'm going to enter in here. Then I'll jump over to my email and click the verification link. It'll ask me to sign back in, and here is the welcome aboard message. Since it's asking for a funding source, I'm going to do this now. You could always skip ahead and do this later in settings. Like most exchanges, it'll connect to your bank account via Plaid, which is a secure third-party source that keeps your private banking information out of the hands of the exchange. Linking with Plaid is instant, so you'll avoid the old school process where they made 2 microtransactions into your account and it took several days to get established. The final step before we can use the exchange is to verify our identity. Gemini limits our transactions to $500 or less without verification, so let's get this step taken care of. In the US, Gemini requires either pictures of your driver's license or passport. I already have scans on my computer, so I'm going to upload them here and get that taken care of. And that's it. We're ready to buy crypto. If we've set everything up correctly, which we have, buying crypto is super easy. All you have to do is click the currency that you'd like to buy, enter the quantity, verify the funding source, and confirm the transaction. That's it, you've done it. Now that we've created our Coinbase or our Gemini account, or for you crazy people, maybe both, and now that we've made our first purchase, let's talk about how to stay secure. I have 4 tips that will almost completely eliminate your risk of losing cryptocurrency. And after making that claim, a reminder that I'm not a financial professional. You should consult a CPA, and I'm not liable if you lose any crypto. But with that said, let's jump in. The first tip is one that we've already covered at length, and that's to choose a large, reputable exchange. If you opt to go with an exchange that isn't Coinbase or Gemini, that's fine. Just do a little bit of research. The second tip is to turn on two-factor authentication for all your banking and crypto accounts. Now, by default, when you sign up for Coinbase or Gemini, SMS or text message two-factor authentication is enabled. They don't let you do it any other way. But you can increase your security by using a two-factor authentication app like Authy, Google Authenticator, LastPass Authenticator. There's a lot of them out there. It's a bit out of scope for this video, but using an app for authentication instead of text messages is more secure. So I suggest setting that up. I also suggest doing this on all of your other banking apps if you haven't done so already. My third tip for keeping your crypto secure is to use a cold storage wallet. For example, I have a Ledger Nano S that I bought several years ago. Trezor also makes good ones. This is because, like I mentioned earlier, when you leave crypto on an exchange and say a hack occurs or Coinbase, Gemini, or whatever platform you're using is compromised, there's the potential that you could lose your money. When you transfer crypto to a cold storage wallet, that's the safest way to store your crypto. It becomes virtually impossible for anybody to get at your money. And even if you damage or lose this wallet, you can still recover your money. My last tip is to ignore anything you see in the YouTube comments section. I can't believe I have to say this, but on the larger personal finance and crypto channels, I see folks impersonating the video creator all the time, sharing WhatsApp numbers and links in the hopes that somebody will fall for the scam. And even on my channel, which is small, I haven't had any impersonators yet, but most videos that I post have scam comments on them. You should definitely ignore them. I'll delete them if I can, but if you see it, ignore it. Thanks for sticking around to the end. If you have any questions or comments on anything that we covered today, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. I'll do my best to respond. Please smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when I post new videos. Did you know it's absolutely free to turn that like button blue, and it really makes a big difference for me. Thank you, and I'll see you all in the next one.